What's going on, guys? Today I'll be simulating the Four Nations tournament in NHL 25. It was just added today, so it should be on your home screen. If not, just go over to offline. It'll be the first option there below play now. One really cool thing with this, you can actually play as all four teams. So for this, that's what I'll be doing. That way I can adjust their lineups, simulate every single game. The Americans, the highest rated team in the game at 99 overall. Then Sweden, number 2 at 97. At first glance, it might seem weird they're higher rated than Canada, but it is because the Canadian goaltenders are just that bad. Brings them down to 96. And then Finland, they're the lowest rated team at 92. And to try and get the most realistic sim possible, guys, I have the attribute effects. That's a 9 out of 10. And now before we start simulating, guys, I first want to show you the lines for each of these four teams. I actually use daily faceoffs projected lines. We'll also adjusting them a bit based on what I think is going to happen. So looking at Canada here, obviously forward group absolutely stacked. You got Reinhart, McDavid, and Marner on that first line. The second line there is the Nova Scotia line. McKinnon, Crosby, and Marchand. I've seen a lot of people have, McKinnon on that top line away from Crosby. I feel like those two want to play together. Third line, you got Hagel, Point, and Stone. So the two Lightning players with Stone. Fourth line here, Konechny, Cirelli, and Jarvis. I think the one scratch player here is Sam Bennett at forward, Sanheim at D, and Montembeault there at goalie. In terms of the defense, still very solid for this team. You got Taves, Makar as their top pair. Obviously, two Avalanche teammates, plus Makar, probably best defenseman in the world. It's him or Quinn Hughes. Second pairing there, you got Pietrangelo and Theodore. So again, a couple teammates from Vegas. Bottom pairing there, Morrissey and Parayko. Now, in terms of the goaltending, of course, this is Canada's weak spot. Benner there, the starter. Hill backing him up. We'll see in the sim, if it's enough to hold up. Also, too, in terms of power play one, I mean, come on. Makar, McKinnon, McDavid, Reinhart, Crosby. You could swap out Reinhart for anybody. I think the other four are definitely locks. Now, moving on here, guys, we have Team Finland. You got Lehkonen on the top line there with Barkov, Rantanen. So, again, they want that kind of Avalanche chemistry. I think with such a short tournament, you want that built-in chemistry from teammates when you can get it. So, next year on the second line, you got Granlund playing with Aho, Teravainen. Of course, those two were teammates for quite a while in Carolina. Third line, you got Laine there with Hintz and Lundell. And then finally, you got Armia on the bottom line with Luosterainen and Kakko. So, I mean, overall, I think the Finnish forward group is pretty solid. Defensively, it definitely gets a lot weaker. They do have Lindell and Heiskanen as a top D pair, who obviously play together on Dallas. After that, though, Mata, Välimäki, Mikkola, Hakanpää. I mean, Mata and Välimäki are playing together right now in Utah, but you guys can see by the ratings, defensive depth really isn't there. Luckily, they got Saros as their starting goaltender. I think top 5 goalie in the league. Luukkonen backing him up. In terms of their third string goalie, you guys can see it's Lenkin, and they've also got Ristolainen and Halla as their other two scratches. And in terms of the Finnish power play one, I mean, you got Lehkonen out front, Rantanen, Barkov, Laine, Heiskanen. That's not that bad. It's just obviously not as good as Canada's. Next up here, guys, Team Sweden. So you got Jesper Bratt first line. I've got him playing with Petey and Nylander. I think that's nasty. Raymond, Zibanejad, Forsberg. Campe there playing with Eriksson Ek and Lindholm. And then on the fourth line, you got Arvidsson, Karlsson, and Gus Nyquist. Defensively here, obviously Sweden very solid for defense. Hedman, Dahlin top pair. Karlsson, Forsling on the second. Brodin, Anderson bottom. You've actually got Ekholm scratch. Goaltending wise as well, they got Allmark starting. Markstrom backing him up. And I think for the third string goalie, you got Gustafsson. And then Karlsson there's their 13th forward. Also, too, looking at Sweden's power play. I mean, Karlsson quarterbacking it. Nylander, Petey, Bratt, Forsberg. That is pretty nasty. I definitely give them the edge there to Finland. And finally here, guys, looking at Team USA's lines. So they got JT Miller playing top line. The guy that, could be traded with Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk. Second line, you got Brady there playing with Jack Hughes, Cal Connor. You then have Dylan Larkin playing with Eichel and Gensel. And then you got Boldy, Trocheck, Kreider. So, I mean, the American forward group there, I think, is second only to Canada's. And honestly, it's pretty close. Defensively, the Americans have the best defense by far. You got Hughes and McAvoy on that top pair. Fox, Slavin on the second. And then Werenski, Faber on the bottom. Especially with how Werenski's been playing this season. Like, oh my goodness. Goaltending-wise as well, they have the best goalie, I think, in this tournament in Connor Hellebuck. Gonna probably win another Vezina this year. Ottinger's backing him up. I think their third string there, Sammy Swayman. They got Nelson as well scratched, same with Noah Hannafin. So Americans, look pretty stacked. They're probably, the most well-rounded team here. First power play as well, you got Miller out front, Quinn and Jack playing together, Matthews is the trigger man, Fox on the point, and then power play too, I figured, since they don't play together 5-on-5, we got the two Kachuk brothers there. So should be a lot of fun, just seeing what happens. And because I took control of every single team, guys, we're actually able to watch every single game simulated. So we'll start off here with Sweden versus Canada. I think Canada's going to win this one. They're up 3 early, McKinnon, Marchand, and Jarvis. After that, 5-1 now, Petey's lone goal for Sweden. And then 6-1, Canada puts them away. And now next year, guys, you have Finland versus USA. I should mention, too, the rules for this tournament. It's a round robin. Every single team plays every team once. And then after that, the top 2 teams move on to the final. There's no third place game, anything like that. So it's 1-1 here, Kreider and Laine. And Finland's actually, wow, out shooting the USA by a bunch. Aho, Teravainen, and Heiskanen. 4-1 now for the Finns. and 5-1. They upset the Americans there, because I would say Finland's probably the worst of the 4 teams. The Americans might be the best, so crazy first game there. And now next year, guys, the big game, Canada versus USA. I mean, could it be the final? Maybe. Let's see what happens. First period, Canada's up 1. Brad Marchand. Second period, 4-1 lead for Canada. Hagel, Tays, Marchand, Jack Hughes, the American lone goal. And Americans get 1 more from Kyle Connor, but honestly, the favorites of this tournament are down 0-2. I don't even know if they can make the final now. I guess they still technically could, some crazy tiebreaker with, all these teams winning once, but not looking likely. Sweden, Finland here. Sweden's up 1 early, Jesper Bratt. 4-0 now. Sweden's running away with it. Adrian Campe with a couple goals. And 5-1. Finns there do not get shut out, but Jesper Bratt as well adds another. So, like I was saying, there is possibility here. If USA wins their next game, and then Finland loses to Canada, we will have a 3-way tie there for 2nd/3rd/4th place. So, I guess we'll move on here to the USA-Sweden game, because if the Americans do win this, the Canadian-Finnish one will be very interesting. So, here we go, guys. First period, 1-1. Austin Matthews opening up the scoring. Carlson follows it up. After that, 3-1 for the Americans. Jack Hughes, Dylan Larkin. Can they hold on, keep their tournament hopes alive? And they do. 6-2. Big game for them. Matthews again. Jack Hughes. Matthews actually scored onto the empty net. They put Allmark back in. They weren't done yet. Jack Hughes scores on him with 15 seconds to go. So, like I was saying, guys, there is a chance here the Americans can still get in. I honestly don't know what the tiebreaker is for the tournament, so we might find out. Finland, though, has to lose to Canada. They're down 1. Tays gets the lone goal so far. 2-0. Kind of a defensive matchup here. Even shots. Going to the 3rd. And Canada holds on 3-1. Hintz there, made a bit of a game. Ruined Binnington's shutout, but unfortunately for the Finns, they do not get in. And look at that. The Americans, after starting out the tournament 0-2, find themselves in the final. So let's take a look here. I'm going to guess it's probably goals for or goal differential. Just makes the most sense to me. And based on the standings, it's probably goals for. Canada, of course, went 3-0. And then you got USA there, 9 goals for at 1-2. Finland 7. Sweden 8. Sweden's actually below Finland, so I take that back. It must be goal differential, as USA and Finland each were -2. So I'm guessing the second tiebreaker was goals for. USA lucked out. It wasn't, head-to-head matchup, because of course they lost game 1 to Finland. Sweden there was -5, but yeah, interesting how close that was. So, I mean, it would be kind of embarrassing for Canada. They go 3-0 through the round robin just to get beaten in the final by the Americans. Also, too, looking at the point totals here through round robin play, Crosby leading the way. He's always such a beast, international for Canada, 5 points. Followed by Marchand there, so it's a Nova Scotia line. Jack Hughes actually turned up for Team USA. Jesper Bratt, Nathan McKinnon, like I mentioned, that Nova Scotia line doing well. And that looks like you actually got a lot of players there who are averaging point per game. In terms of goaltenders, obviously Canada's weak spot. I mean, not even looking at the record, Bitters cut the 2nd best save percentage. Luukkonen actually got a start by the Finns. That's funny to see. And he put up a 9.65. So, other than Luukkonen's one crazy game, Benner's the best goalie by far. 9.57 save percentage, 1.33 goals against. I mean, if he steps up like that and turns their weakest position into the best one in the tournament, then I could definitely see Canada taking this whole thing. So, as you guys can see there, the round robin has ended. And like I was saying, it is Canada versus USA. This, of course, is what everyone would want with the tournament being held in both Montreal and Boston. It's actually pretty cool, like, in-game, you can actually see it, played at the Bell Center or the TD Garden. The playoff tree there is really, honestly, quite funny with the 2 teams. But we're going to get started here, guys, with the final. I'll probably actually watch that, 3rd period, see how it goes. Period 1, though. Canada's up 3. Wow, Marchand, McKinnon, Morrissey again. Nova Scotia line, the best line in this tournament. Period 2, Americans make it a game. Matthews and Kyle Connor. Okay, so this is perfect. There's something on the line here. Canada's ratings there, 100 offense, 98 defense, 84 goaltending. The Americans, 100 offense, 100 defense, and 98 goaltending. Right here, you guys can see the jerseys in-game. Canada on the right, Americans on the left. I totally forgot to show Sweden and Finland, so I'll just pop them up right now. You guys can see Sweden and Finland's jerseys there in-game as well. But getting back to the final here, guys, of course, will be the coach. We're not going to influence this sim in any way. Obviously, I'm Canadian, but, I gotta hope here that Crosby, McDavid, the rest of the boys can find a way to pull this one out. McDavid there won the opening faceoff. Nice to see. And immediately, Americans take a penalty. I don't know what that was. Austin Matthews right off the drop. And as you guys can see, the foul's actually being played at TD Garden. You guys can see the bench there. So Matthews just immediately, you throw a punch at Connor McDavid. It missed him, but yeah, interference there. Okay, on the counter, this is their 2nd power play since Marchand's out there. Squeaks by the defender, Braden Point. What a save from Connor Hellebuck. Matthews out of the box here, guys. Larkin hits him. No way. Springs him, and Not the greatest shot by Matthews. Benner just tosses that one to the side. Hughes, that was Jack. Back to Quinn. Big block though by Canada. Only 5 minutes right now into this third period. I just noticed too, not only is Canada up 1, they're also doubling their shots, 31-15, but that's the difference there in goaltending. Connor Hellebuyck versus Jordan Binnington. Big hit by Alex Pietrangelo. Jarvis on the puck here. Canada's got another power play. Late penalty on the Americans. We'll see what happened. Marchand gets tossed there by Jacob Slavin. And it's Matthew Tkachuk. Usual suspect. Let's see. Just a hit on Morrissey, but he didn't have the puck. So another interference call there for the American. Crosby, he's got it to McDavid. The duo, McDavid on a breakaway. Oh, come on. He just shoots it right at Hellebuyck. I feel like I could have made a better deke than that. Wow, Crosby springs him and just nothing to show for it. Reinhart picks off that attempted dump. McDavid and Makar goes for the clapper. Just too many people there in the lane. Crosby's on it here. Power play just ended. Terrible pass. Larkin, Werenski, the two buddies. And then Werenski loses it to Connor McDavid. Back to Crosby. I mean, imagine those two playing together. I can't believe we haven't seen it yet, you know, on the international stage. All right, so Canada's got forward line 1 back out there, even though they're kind of tired. I mean, you know what? Important moments like this, it makes sense. Makar here to Reinhart to breaking out. Marner. Devin Tays to Marner. Nice save by Hellebuyck again. Less than 5 to go. Looking at, you know, Americans probably pulling the goalie soon. As I say that, Hellebuyck with a huge glove save. JT Miller coming down. Another big save by Benner. A bit of a goalie battle right now. This is it, guys. 2.5 minutes to go. Canada's got their shutdown line out there. Hagel, Point, and Stone. Big block. I think actually Jack Hughes took that from his brother. I think that was as well. Not ideal. Minute and a half to go. The Americans have it. Should be pulling the goalie here. Tkachuk turns it over to Point. Hagel trying to do something. Theodore up to Pietrangelo. I don't think the Americans have pulled the goalie yet. They don't have that possession, but now they do. Wow, less than a minute to go. Look at the celly from Kyle Connor. I actually think that's pretty accurate if they tied the game there. Less than a minute to go. Wow. That is huge. Wasn't expecting that. Did they even pull the goalie yet? I think Connor Hellebuyck may have just barely left the net. In alone. 24. Is that Hagel on him, but can't make anything happen? Oh, no, sorry. That was Konechny on him. Wow. Look at the bench. I feel like they'd be selling even more than that, especially the coach. This is wild, guys. 3-3 game. Still a minute to go here before OT. Is somebody going to be the hero? Canada's got 4th line out there now. Interesting choice from coach. Jarvis tried to go short side. Kyle Connor looking for another. Canada says no. Sorelli, Jarvis. Konechny on it. He was on that. What is that goal? I was about to say he's the one who let Connor score, and then he answers back. I was dogging on him. His first goal of the tournament. This is like shades of the Americans winning the World Juniors. Wow. Konechny, what is this backhand? Just Hellebuyck. He's on the post. Oh, he goes far side as Hellebuck's hugging the post. Oh my goodness. Vezina goalie. You gotta have that one. You gotta keep your eye on the puck. And John Cooper loving that. Canada's back up 1. 30 seconds to go now. Sullivan, there he goes. Calling Hellebuyck out of the net. They got Hughes on it. Matthews. I mean, they got star power. Matthews takes a couple shots. No angle. Pietrangelo to Reinhart. Chance to end it. He misses the empty net. Quinn Hughes looking for a miracle. Matthew Tkachuk. JT Miller. 10 seconds left. Loses it. Reinhart gets it. Oh, Miller gets it back. Apologies. Tkachuk out front. Matthews with the shot, but a weak backhand. If he could have like actually clapped that one, maybe they have a chance. 3 seconds to go. I think Canada's winning this one. We got the 6th best Americans out there. Eichel's taking the draw, and he loses it to Sid. And that's going to be all she wrote. Canada holds on there to be crowned 4 nations champions. I believe this is the first 4 nation ever, so pretty cool to see that. Can't wait for them to actually be back at the Olympics. I still can't believe, like, you know, McDavid's, what, pushing 30 now. He still has to play with Crosby on a Canadian team. Absolutely crazy. You can see the Americans there, quite upset. Eichel had to win that last draw. Had to give them a chance. You know, win that back to Hughes for a shot. Try to get the tip. Unfortunately, can't beat the GOAT. Can't beat Sid. Hellebuyck there. Gotta be upset. Letting in, I don't know what that goal was from Konechny. Got the handshake line now. Crosby there. Shaking hands with Matthew Tkachuk. And that's it, guys. It's just the handshake line. I thought for sure there would be some sort of trophy cutscene. Unfortunately, there is not. So that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this sim. Honestly, I had a lot of fun with that. And check this out, guys. The Nova Scotia line popped off. Marchand, McKinnon, and Crosby all tied for the league in points with 6. Hopefully that's the case in real life. And just like in this sim, Canada can, win all 4 games and be crowned champions.